Sir, please may I come in?
Please come. Please come.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Ashutosh.
Yes, sir.
Ashutosh, I'll give you 1 minute to introduce yourself very briefly.
Sir, my name is Ashutosh Kumar. I have been born and brought up in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my schooling from St. Fidelis College, Lucknow, and I have done my graduation in electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur. My interests are sun salutation, meditation, and reading self-improvement books.
Ashutosh, tell me, you have written exam taking political science and international relations.
Yes, sir.
In the evolution of Indian foreign policy,
Yes, sir.
can you just name some landmarks?
Okay, sir.
These were the landmarks of Indian foreign policy.
Sir, right from in the post-independence period from 1947, the non-alignment.
In fact, you can go even prior to independence because the foreign policy seeds were sprouting
Yes, sir.
even before India's independence.
Yes, sir. Sir, exact year I'm not able to recall, but there was a Congress of Oppressed Nationalists that was organized, and I think our former Prime Minister Shri Jawaharlal Nehru visited it. So its year I'm not able to recall, and even before that we had Dadabhai Naoroji, who represented India, who represented as an MP in the British Parliament. So from there we saw that an attempt was made in order to put forth the India's foreign policies and India's point of view from the British Empire and then to the all the oppressed nationalist conference. And in the post-independence period, we saw that the non-alignment movement was a landmark in the post-Cold War world order that
And what was the main driving force behind promotion of this idea of non-alignment?
Sir, the bipolar world order that had emerged and the Cold War that was there, it was very difficult for an emerging country and a newly independent country to join any bloc. And if they had joined, then they had to face the repercussions like there were military coups, etc. in other countries. So India decided that it is going to adopt a path that would be inspired by the tradition of middle path that is there in the Buddhism. So I think this kind of ideological leaning to maintain the self-autonomy and strategic autonomy was the key reason why India adopted the non-alignment movement.
And who were the other major players?
I'm sorry, non-alignment movement. Sir, there was Marshal Tito from Yugoslavia and President Sukarno from Indonesia. Apart from that, General Nkrumah, I think he was there. President Nkrumah from one of the country, Ghana.
Any other landmark you would want to recall?
Yes, sir. Sir, 1971 India-Bangladesh war of the Indo-Pakistan war that led to the liberation of the Bangladesh.
But what was the underlying major principle there?
Sir,
all right, winning a war is in itself all right, a great thing to do. But what was, in terms of foreign policy, what was established in 71?
Sir, India adopted a realist approach in the foreign policy and
realist approach.
Yes, sir.
Why do you say realist?
Sir, because till now we had a lot of idealism in our foreign policy and NAM was symbolic of that. But now we decided that to actively pursue our national interest, we are now going to go for a war, and because there was a lot of refugee influx that was there from the Bangladesh, and because of the
use of force. Deliberate use of force.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And in a way also very remotely, in a way trying to influence another country's internal affairs.
Yes, sir.
So that was the...
Sir, I think the key idea was that, sir, India had to now actively pursue its national interest, and if the use of force was required, then it had to be done. Now India could not shy away from that.
Any other landmark you remember?
Sir, 1998 Operation Shakti that we conducted, wherein India crossed the nuclear Rubicon. I think that was another landmark where India decided to now emerge as a balancing power, which was back then, which now today is the idea of leading power.
Nuclear.
Yes,
decision
sir.
On nuclear.
Yes. Nuclear test that was conducted by Prime Minister Vajpayee. And
but was that the beginning where we did Pokhran 1 also?
Yes, sir. Sir,
what was the difference in Pokhran 1 and Pokhran 2?
Sir, in Pokhran 1 that we did, which was Operation Smiling Buddha in 1974, it was mainly just to show that we had the capability. Just simply
Pokhran 1 was to demonstrate your capability, and Pokhran 2 was to implement
it, to actively show that yes, now we are going to use it for weapon purpose.
Right.
And
And
sir,
any other landmark you?
sir, 2005 Indo-US nuclear deal that was signed. And
What was so landmark about that?
sir, despite being a non-signatory of a non-proliferation treaty, India was able to get a waiver from the NSG, the Nuclear Supply Group, and consequently, a deal was signed wherein India was recognized as a.
What was more important, fundamentally important to the objective of Indo-US nuclear deal?
Sir, to make India a responsible nuclear power.
Of course, we would always be responsible. So, Indo-US deal or no deal, we'll still be responsible nuclear power. Have you heard about what is called technology denial regimes?
Yes, sir, there are missile technology control regime, Wassenaar arrangement, Australia arrangement are there. And India, and a nuclear supply group is also one of them. And usually.
And how was Indo-US deal going to impact those denial regimes?
Sir, the denial, exact impact on other Australia, Wassenaar and MTCR, I'm not aware of. But in the case of nuclear supply group, there was an active opposition from the China. So President Bush had personally called up then Chinese president to convince him to let this deal go ahead. So it was kind of USA. It was a symbolic of a strong Indo-US relation.
Where do you place, for example, Panchashila?
Yes.
In terms of the landmarks?
Sir, Panchashila definitely was a good idealistic effort, but today, calling it in today's context, calling it as a landmark is a bit difficult.
Wasn't it the soul of non-aligned movement?
Yes, sir. In a way, the ideas that were there, like
if
mutual.
If Panchashila was not there, NAM would not be there.
Sir, the idealistic principles were there in the Panchashila that were obviously the core of the non-alignment movement, sir.
Was Panchashila in any manner related or connected to Westphalian state?
Yes, sir. Sir, the core idea of the Westphalian state was the protection of the territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Sovereignty, non-intervention.
Yes, sir. Non-intervention and mutual non-intervention and mutual respect and non-interference in internal affairs. These were the three cardinal principles of Panchashila.
Very good.